Hello my fabulous people. Today I'm about to show you how to sew this beautiful trendy dress that is giving rich Gen Z auntie vibes. Trust me on this. When you finish making this dress, people will start asking you, I beg, who is your tailor? So grab your fabric, sit tight, like this video, subscribe, and don't you dare skip because the best secrets are waiting at the end of this video. Let's get started. I'm using crepe fabric for this project. You can use chiffon, duchess, or any other flowy fabric. I'm using this 3D flower to beautify my dress. You can use any flower of your choice. I have about 3 yards of this crepe fabric here. I have folded the whole 3 yards into two. Can you see? So what I'm going to do now is to fold in a triangle form, in a bias form, okay? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Why this part is on fold. All right. So now that I have my fabric in bias form, I'm going to divide my bust circumference by 3.14 because this is half of a circle. To find the radius of half of a circle, you divide whatever by 3.14. This is a standard, okay? So what I'm going to do now is to add 2 inches to my bust circumference. Okay, you can add up to 4 inches to your bust circumference depending on how much allowance you want for the side. Okay, that is the side seam allowance. I want just ½ inch side seam allowance. That is why I am adding just 2 inches to my bust circumference. Okay, if you need like 1 inch side seam allowance, you should add like up to 4 inches to your bust circumference. Okay, so now my actual bust circumference is 36 inches. I'm going to be adding 2 inches to my bust circumference. So I have 38 divided by 3.14. So what I have is 12.1. So I'll come here and mark down 12.1 from this angle, okay? If I should measure, I have like my bust circumference divided by 4, then what I have left here is ½ inch. Okay, what I'm going to do now is to come up here by 4 inches. That will be my neckline. This line here will be my chest line. So what I'm going to do now is to place my tape from that line because that is my chest line. Okay, to get your chest line measurement, divide your bust circumference by 6 plus 1.5. So if I should divide 36 by 6 plus 1.5, it will give me 7.5. Okay, so I'm going to place my tape there like so and get the full length of my dress. And the full length of this dress is 34 inches. On my chest line, I'm going to come up here by 4 inches and then I'll connect to the side, okay, like so. So from the chest line, I'll also mark my back waist line, okay. This is my back waistline, which is 15. So I'll mark down my back waistline. So I'll cut the neck and then I'll cut the hemline. I'm not cutting the waist yet. I'm going to keep that aside so that I can cut the second layer. I will get the remaining fabric and place the piece that I had already cut on top of the fabric and then mark down the full length on the fabric. Then from the full length, I'll mark out about 3 to 4 inches from the length in order to have about 2 layers, which means that one will be shorter than the other one. Then I'll cut the sides exactly the same width with the first one that we had cut. You can cut as many layers as you want. If you want more layers, that means you have more fabric to be able to get more layers. What I'm going to do now is to take out one piece of each layer, okay? That will be the front. So I'll take out one layer and keep it aside as the front. So do the same thing for the bigger layer. I'll take out one layer as the front. I'll fold it back. So what I'm going to do now, in order not to confuse myself, I'm going to also place this other piece down. I'm going to place it below this one so that I can be seeing my markings. Okay, if you can remember, this is my chest line and then my waist line. Okay, my back half length. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to come up here by 1 inch. I don't want my waistline to be downwards because this is a flay. If you don't come up here by 1 inch, your half length might slack downwards a little bit. Okay, but I don't want mine to be that way, so that is why I came up here by 1 inch. You can maintain your waistline if you want, and I'm going to slightly blend it into the waistline. Okay, mark down the folding allowance because I'm going to be folding this back inwards and insert elastic into it. So because of that, I'll mark down 1 inch here as the folding allowance. Okay, so now this is what the back looks like, and the front. So this is my front piece and the back piece. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just so simple. I'm going to bring the front together. So can you see what I have? And pin them together. I decided to trim off ½ inch because I want to turn the pieces over with each other. I'll place it like so, join them together, and then flip it to the right side. And I'll fix my elastic in between the two. Okay, so I have gone ahead to stitch the two layers of the front together. Can you see? I just stitched them together here, right? And I also went ahead to cut out two long straps that I will use and pipe the neckline. Okay, and I folded each one in to form like a bias strip. Okay, this is 2 inches, and I folded ½ inch in on the both sides, and I folded again with my hot iron, of course. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to clip on the middle part. Okay, can you see? And then I'll go over to my sewing machine. I'll pipe in from the side. This is the side, so I'll fold it in like so, and then pipe it in. So when I get to the middle point, I'm going to stop. So let me go ahead and pin it down. So when you get to the middle part, you stop. I'm not stitching to the other side. I will stop at the middle part. Okay, then I will only stitch on the strap. Okay, now get the second strap and then start stitching from the side as well. So I'll go ahead and pin it down. So this is what I will have. So I'll stitch from here, then on the strap, and then from the other side on the strap as well, to have like a crisscross around here. Okay, so that will be that for the front. So this is the back. I went ahead to join them together, the two layers together, then flipped to the right. Okay, I'm going to be fixing in elastic. I'm going to be fixing it into the waistline in order to drag the waistline. Okay, if you want, you can fix 1 inch elastic. This is the one I want to fix. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, since this is less than ½ inch, it is about 0.25, so I'm going to be marking down ½ inch, that is 0.5. So I'm going to stitch it down on that ½ inch that I marked, so that I can form something like a box where I will fix in this elastic. Okay, and I also went ahead to cut belt. If you want, you can decide to fix belt, or you can choose not to fix belt. On fold, I measured 5.5 inches in width by 40 inches in length. Okay, and I went ahead to stitch on it to form my belt. So I'll flip to the right side and I'll give it a good press. I have already pressed this one, so I'm going to go over to my ironing board and press this one down as well. As you can see, I have already joined the straps. Okay, can you see? I went ahead to stitch the belt. Okay, Immediately under the chest line is where I stitched the belt, okay, because that is where I want my own belt to start from. And I only stitched on the smaller part, that is the first layer. I stitched the belt on the right side, okay. So for the back, I have already stitched on the 1/2 inch marking. So I'm going to be fixing in my elastic into this box. So I'll get the elastic tape and divide my waist circumference by 2. So my waist is 28. If I divide by 2, I'll have 14 inches. Okay, I'm going to be taking out 2 inches from these 14 inches. So I'll be left with 12 inches now because my elastic is very stretchy. I want it to stretch into my waist measurement. So I'll cut out 12 inches. Okay, with the help of a safety pin, I'll fix in the elastic into the box that I created. You can just hold it down with a pin or you backstitch on it to hold it down. So this is what I have. I'll also hold it down there. So what I'm going to do now is to join them together by the sides. So this is the front piece. I'll get the back piece and lay it on top of the front piece. I want to join the first layers together first, separately. Okay, I'm going to join the first layer of the back to the first layer of the front. When I get to the waistline, I'm going to stop stitching. Okay, so I'll pin only the first layers together. Then to the other side, I'll also get the first layer of the front and the first layer of the back and pin them together. So I'll go over to my sewing machine and stitch on the first layers only. So as you can see, I have already stitched on the smaller part and I stopped at the waistline. I had to clip on the longer layer so that it can lay flat. So I stopped here at the waistline. Can you see? On both sides. So what I'm going to do now is to get the longer layer of the front. This is the longer layer of the front. I'm going to flip it and stitch from the armhole to the waistline, and I will also stop. So as you can see, I have already stitched on the sides. Okay, when I got to the waistline, I stopped. Can you see? I stopped at the waistline. So I'm going to clip on it. All right, and then I'll trim this out so everywhere can lay flat when I flip to the right side. Right, you see why I did not add so much allowance to my dress. So if you're very sure of your bust measurements, you don't need to add so much allowance to your dress. Okay, so look at the other side as well. Can you see? I have also stitched and I stopped at the waist area. Okay, so I'm going to clip on it and trim out these excesses. I want to flip to the right side so that you guys can see why I had to do all this. This is what it looks like from the right side. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that this first layer is separate. Then I'm going to join the second layer now. This is the second layer. I did not join the second layer. So if I had to stitch from the inside, this rough edge is going to be visible on my dress because this is how my dress is. Okay, so that is why I stopped at the waistline so that I can flip to the other side and then stitch. Okay, if I flip the first layer, the second layer will also be neat as well. Okay, I want to sew it in now. It's going to be like this. Okay, all right, so I'm going to flip to the other side now and stitch the second layer together. So now I have stitched on the sides. Can you see? So if I should flip to the right side, this is what I have. Can you see the side joining? Can you see? The bigger layer is neat. Can you see? And then the smaller layer is also neat and separate from the first layer. Can you see the other side as well? So this is what the inside looks like. The belt is also very neat. And for the 3D flowers, I'm going to cut them out and place them anywhere that I like. Okay, I'll place an top stitch on them to secure them down. You can equally use gum to gum them down, but I'm going to be stitching mine. You can notice that I am only pinning it to the first layer of the front. So I will stitch to only the first layer so that the second layer can also relax on its own. I'll go over to my sewing machine now and stitch them down as well as hem the dress. And that's it. I'll go ahead and rock my dress. To style it, you can just tie this around your neck, okay? And then the belt at your back, you can use it to cover your bra, okay? So that's it. Don't forget to hit on the subscribe button if you have not subscribed. Turn on your notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first to know. See you in the next video.